Hello, you guys, and happy Tuesday. I wanted to do a small continuation of the organ donor for this piece today of a bedtime story because you guys did seem to be a little bit more interested in that one. Um, if you guys do want to continue on with this, I guess we'll probably call this a series then. This mini series, please let me know down in the comments. And if you have not seen the very first one of the organ donor, which should be the first video on my YouTube for bedtime stories, please go back and watch it so you guys would understand this piece a little better. I hope you guys enjoy, and this piece is called The Organ Donor Behind the Curtain. Let's get into it. Nurse Bailey waited for Surge Tech Janice in her Toyota Camry. They often carpooled since they didn't live too far from one another, and it was definitely easier on Janice with all she had going on at home. Bailey felt that this was the least she could do to help her out. Finally, I'm off. Thanks for waiting for a bit. I can't wait for alcohol to hit my system so I can try and forget as much as I possibly can about today. Janice shook her head as she peered out the window as Bailey began to reverse out her parking spot. You said it. Soon, Bailey's wheels were hitting the parking lot of Applebee's that was a block away from Janice's home. Soon enough, Janice had already chugged back a few Long Island iced teas to forget the scalpel that was once gently pressed down on her jugular as she stood there frozen, staring into Dr. James' darkened eyes. They shoveled appetizers in their mouths and talked about all the gossip they never had the chance to discuss between the tight schedule Dr. James had them on and the flow of patients coming in and out the facility. The last gossip had Janice laughing so hard she had to quickly excuse herself to the ladies' room. Bailey's phone buzzed, and the warmth of blush immediately raced to her cheeks as she quickly looked at her phone. It read, "Let me guess, the usual Applebee's place? I think you deserve a better way to start your weekend. The missus is out of town, and I haven't been able to get the taste of you off of my mind. When can I see you again?" Bailey giggled. She looked around to see if Janice hadn't come back yet and began to type back. "Well, I'm ready to blow this popsicle stand. And you know I have to take her out every now and again. Who else will? But back to you. How badly do you want me?" Bailey couldn't hold back her smile as she shoveled a few more loaded fries in her mouth and clutched her phone in her hand tightly, staring at their open text messages, just waiting for his response. Bailey continued to look around as she thought, "Come on, respond before she comes back so I can wrap it up." Within a few seconds, a reply sent over. "How about you come over and see?" Bailey quickly replied back, "Okay, I'll be there in 20. Her phone buzzed, and she was able to read his last reply right before Janice returned. "I'll be waiting," winky face. Bailey immediately stuffed her phone back into her purse as Janice walked to the table. "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I didn't know you were going to tell me that about Myra. Hey, your cheeks are all red. Are you okay?" Uh, no, I'm actually feeling really sick. I think it was the drinks." "Oh no. Well, I can walk home. My house is right down the block. I don't want to be a bother since you aren't feeling well." Janice began to shuffle in her purse to find her wallet to pay the tab. "No, you don't have to. Like you said, you're right down the block. I can take you home. Plus, I want to make sure you make it home safe. You know how crazy people these days are." "Thanks." Janice smiled and flagged down the server. Bailey and Janice paid the tab and quickly fled back to the car. Less than 5 minutes went by, and Bailey was saying her goodbyes to Janice as they departed. Bailey made her usual right out the complex so Janice wouldn't realize Bailey wasn't heading home. As soon as she was clear of Janice's house, she made a left and was speeding 95 on the highway, with her windows down, music blasting, and her hair dancing in the wind. Her car parked a couple houses away from his. She quickly sprayed a few spurts of perfume and thanked the gym showers they had at their hospital. She often utilized after work, so once she got home, she could just crawl into bed. She reapplied deodorant and left her car. She got to the mailbox with the number 503 on it. She opened the side gate and walked up the long driveway. She looked around as she always did when she walked up the driveway, wondering to herself if she would ever be able to afford a place like this. Bailey rang the doorbell that chimed 3 times before it was opened. A man in a silk robe stood there with a smile pressed across his face. The sound of a timer went off on his watch. "You're always on time, Nurse Bailey." Always for you, Dr. James. Nurse Bailey was quickly whisked inside as Dr. James could no longer hold back his hunger for her. He locked the door in one-hand motion, and soon a trail of clothes led upstairs to Dr. James's bedroom. Moans filled the air as the night went on. I hope you guys enjoyed this small piece, and I hope you guys probably want some more of this series, because I would love to write more on this one. This is like a really fun story that I created that I am just as curious as you guys are to see where I'd go with this. Please don't forget to like, comment, and share, and I'd love to know what you guys think about this piece, and let me know if you want more. Thanks, and have a good night. See you guys all tomorrow.